We're here at the ALFI Conference on the BNP Paribas Securities Services booth. Today, people will answer one question: how can Luxembourg become even more internationally relevant?
So I think Luxembourg has established itself fantastically as a financial centre. I would say the next stage would be to actually start to have more cultural events taking place here, more music festivals. I think also potentially even some art festivals. There's a very good art festival that takes place in other capital cities every year. And yeah, they're my options. I would say art and music would be a good way to go.
I would recommend that Luxembourg expands its focus into the Anglo-Saxon world and the North America in particular.
In my view, to become even more internationally relevant, Luxembourg has to promote even more strongly its successes now on the alternative investment fund space, promote and adhere to the strongest governance code, so meaning corporate governance, because this is something especially the Anglo-Saxon world is looking at and where we can attract the most important and also the biggest alternative funds to launch here in Luxembourg. Besides this, I think we should also promote a little bit more strongly the good quality of life here in Luxembourg, because I don't think that anywhere else you can walk with such high security in the park at night than here in Luxembourg. You cannot do this in Brazil, you cannot do this in New York, you cannot do this in many different other countries.
Well, I think we can do much more in terms of communicating about how easy it is to be active in business in Luxembourg. I am representing the Fondation de Luxembourg, and as a representative of that organization, I think that Luxembourg can also do much more to communicate the soft values that we have here. For instance, with regards to impact finance, with regards to SRI funds, philanthropy, and so on. Thank you.
Two poles I can see. More training in international related topics, certifications, and the other one is an increased presence on international forums. This is my contribution. Thank you.
My reflection is that often when we sit in the middle of Europe and we look back at our parents, 90% of which are headquarters outside Luxembourg, we're quite often seen as the thought leaders. And even if people don't want to admit it, quite often when there are problems, they come back to Luxembourg to help them solve the problems, because we have a very deep pool of talent and resource and knowledge and a long institutional history, particularly in the fund space. So my idea would be if we can leverage or expand on the ideas that the ALFI do with the roadshows, but get some of the thought leaders together in a non-competitive environment, so lawyers, auditors, bankers, other practitioners that are around that sort of industry, out to some of these markets, but selling the fact that we are central to our sort of global hubs. That'd be quite a strong tour de force for this country. And would make people actually understand a bit more about where we're going with AFMD. Obviously UCITS is well established, but just to explain how it is that we can then really truly help them with cross-border distribution and so forth. So that would be my two pennyworth, would basically be to expand upon and leverage the skill sets and the expertise we already have and actually get out there a bit more amongst the international community.
How can Luxembourg become internationally relevant? I think Luxembourg's already internationally relevant, but it's the best kept secret, to put it that way. So I would think how it would become even more relevant is that we need to make ourselves more public and more visible. I was always told that good things come in small packages, and I think Luxembourg has a lot to offer. We just need to bring it out there a bit more. But internationally relevant, it obviously is. We're in the conference of the ALFI, the Spring Conference here. It's about the fund industry, and I think that's a very good start to bring us forward and for people to know who we are. Luxembourg is considered a brand when it comes to Luxembourg domiciled funds, and perhaps we should bring that forward a bit more and internationalize that brand in even more countries. Thank you.
There are a number of opportunities for Luxembourg to become internationally relevant and to strengthen and further enhance its current position within the industry. I would like to just point out on two of those opportunities that we have. I think there are a number of sovereign wealth funds that are already active in Luxembourg. I think leveraging on their relationships and encouraging them to come more to Luxembourg, as well as to bring substance and also invest within the asset management industry, is a huge opportunity for Luxembourg to become more relevant. On the other side, I think the relevance of Luxembourg with the international hubs being built within Hong Kong and the internationalization of RMB, China provides a huge opportunity for Luxembourg. And if Luxembourg could position itself as an RMB center, it could take advantage of the economic development in China and increase business in the financial services?
Well, I think success is a combination of mainly three factors. First of all, you should focus on products and services in the country. So efficiency, quality of services, quality of products. That's the major point. The second thing is marketing. You have to go out, as you are doing very well at the moment. You have to go out in other countries, promote your services, and make a lot of marketing. And the third thing is collaboration. We have good examples here in Luxembourg. The finance minister is going in the same direction as the industry is going. If you work closely together, you will be successful internationally in the future.
So there's always three things. The first thing, in my opinion, is recreate the success that Luxembourg has had in terms of UCITS brand for mutual funds, applying that to the alternatives industry with AIFMD and alternatives in the form of AIFs. I think that's number one. Number two, I think Luxembourg, great location, but not necessarily known as the cheapest location. So automation and efficiency of the fund administration industry, which it has a very strong position in, combined with the customer service and capability that it has, is a key aspect to the continued growth and success of Luxembourg. And the third, slightly more controversially, is if it can sort out its international communications infrastructure, in other words, decent airline and decent airport. So those are my three things: alternatives, efficiency and automation, and the airline industry. Thanks.
Okay, so Luxembourg needs to develop its brand in its key developing markets along with UCITS, and needs to position people locally, a little bit like ambassadors, if you will.
In order for Luxembourg to become more relevant internationally, I think we have to do two things. Continue to work on our reputation and continue to work on innovation. 25 years ago, some people in Luxembourg had the brilliant idea to further the investment management industry. We have to find today the answer to the question, what will make us live in 25 years?
I've been thinking about the question, so how to make Luxembourg even more relevant. And it's not an easy question because, as we know, Luxembourg is the place for funds, the second place in Europe. First in Europe, second in the world. But still we have some way to go to become an international place. As from my understanding, we rank 12th in the world as a financial center and 5th in Europe. I have two key words. For me, it's talent and innovation. So I will explain that a little bit better. I think Luxembourg has traditionally been a back office center, more known as a back office center. I think the key towards success and the target for us should be going more towards middle office services and front office services. So let me explain again. I think we have interest to develop middle office services like risk management and compliance services, oversight services, and I think this is something that we are already doing, in particular with conjunctions to the new requirements of the Alternative Investment Fund Management Directive. However, still linked to this one, I think also that we have quite an interest in trying to develop fronting services, basically portfolio management services. How can we do that? I think it would be interesting to attract talents from other jurisdictions. We are doing that already in our company. We are an AFM management company, and we are about to offer also portfolio management services for illiquid assets. And so we have brought some talents from our head office in Jersey. So I think that could be quite a strong point. Second point, innovation. I think it's a little bit linked, but if we can bring again here in Luxembourg and through, say, incubators, and I know that there are quite a few, at least two initiatives that I know. And I think we can again bring, talent in Luxembourg and also shape a little bit more, opportunities to ourselves. Because when you speak about innovation, you speak about, inventive products into the PE industry, and then you speak again about attracting investment in Luxembourg.